Okay, this is an NCE discussion here on cabling. The NCE system cab bus, UPT panel, right there, UPT, runs on the cab buses. You use what they call a flat 6-wire cable. And gotta say this right off the tip of my tongue, this stuff is not readily available anymore. It's part of the computer world. It's kind of like gone by the wayside. As far as I know, you can still get it from electronic supply houses. I may have mentioned in some other videos, I stumbled into my supply back when Lowe's was redoing and remerchandising stores in our area, and some of the stuff was used for wiring up homes and stuff, for computer stuff, and they were discontinuing it. And I happened to go in the store where I live, and I says, well, where's all the 6-pair wire? And she says, well, it's coming off the shelves. Oh, what did you do with it? What was put in a discontinued thing? She says everything's over there on the discontinued items. Well, they only had one roll of it left. I says, have you done the store down in Metairie? And that's another place not too far from me. And she says, no, that's on the list for next week. Well, I happened to be going that way that day, and I stopped in and bought all 10 rolls they had. Okay, and there were, I can't remember how many feet, but to do all that I've done over the years with the cable for a number of people that I've helped, I've had a good supply. Well, the supply is running out. That's the black cables, generally the ones that come from NCE. You get them in various items, and this one actually needs to be repaired. The little thumb. Let's see. Oh, got it. It's thinking I'm on the phone. It's the little thumb parts come off on the thing. Let's see if I can get the other end, and you can see what it's supposed to look like. See, that little piece right there that you put the thumb on to pull it out is broken off. So I have to put a new end on. I will show you this part. You notice that there's 6 little copper, see if I can get this to focus, copper screws. It's copper connections. This is a 6-pair cable. In the NCE system, all 6 wires only get used in one place, and that's the cord that goes to the controller on a power cab. The red and the black is the 12 volts. I'm not sure the other colors next to are the cab bus signal cables. The outside 2 wires, the white and the blue, I think it is, when you're using this in a cab bus, for that is not used. What you see right here, stringed out, is a piece of cable. It's 6-pair flat wire cable. It came off a roll of cable that was just given to me, and we'll go out here and look at that, because this is the roll of cable it came up with. Well, you can't just throw stuff away, so we're untangling it and cleaning. We got some Ajax soap detergent, and we're scrubbing the outside of the vinyl, getting all the dirt off and anything else that's on a cable, cleaning it up. And we're making some cables up for somebody up in Dallas, Texas, who's just installing a very large system. So we're out here, and we're gonna eventually here, when we finish this whole project up, I'm gonna take that hose reel that I got and use it to roll up the rest of this to keep it flat. It's really important that you kind of try to keep this stuff flat. Thing. Now we'll go into how all this works. You need some tools. Gotta tell you, this is the crimping and cutting tool that you use for this particular cable. Whatever one you buy, you need to make sure it's a good one. Don't buy the plastic ones. Get a metal one. That part right there cuts. I'll show you how to do that. We're going to make up some cables. Then you stick the piece in, and if you see up in there, I don't know if you can see now. I got to look this way. Let's look this side. Right there. Those little fingers come down and shove those little brass pieces into the wire in the connector when you do that. So it's important. And another thing too, as you make up a cable, make sure that you ensure that it works before you try to use it in any application. Test it, because bad connections are common. Okay, so we'll move on here. Alright, on this bag label, this is a place where you can get the cable and the clips. Let's see, where's the name at here? Here it is. www.allelectronics.com, and there's their phone number. These are the CMP-6 pin cables. They're called the technical name I think is RJ12s. Now, if you're fooling with the command bus, let's go over here and get one. Let's see if I have a cable. Okay, let's see if you're fooling with a command bus on the boxers getting out of line. That's this cable right here. Nope, that's not that cable. This cable right here. This takes, let me see if I can unplug it. Unplug any one of them. I'm sorry, didn't get prepared for this. This right here. You will notice there's only 4 connections. This is a different plug. I'm sure I have the number for this. This is the basically the headset for a telephone plug. For those people who remember those things that you had to hold up to your ear. Okay? That's the command bus. They give you in each of the boosters in the command station cable to loop to the next one. And because you don't take those in and out, there's a good chance, unless you're doing something like we had to do at Mid-South Model Railroad Club, where we ran it, we had 3 boosters in the front room and then 3 boosters in the back room, so you had to run the command bus all the way to the back boosters. That was a rare exception where you have to make up a cable for the command boost. That is really, really an exception. This is a UPT panel right here, and that in this case is being used as a splitter. There's 2 cab bus runs off of that, and then the radio, I can tell you because I know this white 6-pair cable goes to the RBO2 for the radio. And that works. Just put the first cable from the command station into the slot where it says to command station. Okay, so moving on back to our tools. See what I said about the plastic when this one's broken. So don't buy the plastic units, okay? So that tells you where to get your little connectors. I have some connectors here for the handset plugs, clip-on handset plugs. I'm pretty sure I bought these at Radio Shack, and we all know they're not around anymore. But I got a few of them in here if I need them. So, and I'm pretty sure that tool will do them. You just have to kind of hold it in place. Anyway, we have these, and we're going to get into putting a cable together and how you do it. This particular individual wants one 20-foot cable to where he's going to put his RBO2 up on the ceiling. Oh, what was that, up on the ceiling or something? There's my RBO2, okay? Well, actually, I have an RBO2 and I have a additional transmitter, receiver transmitter. That's the 2, and I forget the number on this one, but it's different. And they go into the wall, the cable goes into the wall, and again, you have to remember, right there, and it goes across the ceiling, and it comes out, and goes down the wall, and it comes back here. Again, this building was designed for the railroad. Okay, so these are the tools. We're going to get some stuff together and ready, and we'll show you how we crimp it, and then we'll test it. And if it works, you'll see it. If it doesn't work, you'll never see that part. Okay, bye. This is the piece of cable. It's about 23 feet long that I'm making up first. Like I said, he gave me a phone call, said that's what he needed. So said he needed 20, so we'll make it a little longer and go on from here. Now, this is where we need to start first, so you understand this part. When you look at this cable, you will see, and I'm going to get some extra light on here. Okay, it's smooth. You don't see anything on one side. If you turn it over, you see the seam. That is important because the little plugs we're going to put on the end of here, for your purposes, human thinking purposes, they're going to be different. In the NCE world, and you read the instructions, it's going to tell you the cable has to be straight. So you understand, if you had a telephone system in your house and used telephone cables, telephone is not straight. Straight means the wire on the end, the white wire goes to the white wire on the other end. That's straight. The phone system doesn't work that way. So if you happen to have old phone cords, and I'll bring this one up so you can see, that's an NCE cord. This big long springy cord right here with the 4-pin, got to get this thing in focus, 4-pin jack on it right there is an old phone cord. It's got to be a 20-foot spring cord. I don't know, big long thing. I got this from somebody else. We had to cut off one of these plugs on one end or the other. Didn't make too much difference which one. It was probably on this end because it's kind of getting a little short. And we had to flip that little thumb over and put it back on the other side. This is where most of those little 4-pin connectors got used, was on the old phone cord. To do this, you had to flip that plug over. Well, you can't use the old one. So you have to cut it off and put a new one on. But you have to have the thumb, one end has to stick down, the other end's got to stick up. So how do you tell that? Well, that little line, let's see, get focus, but that little line on the back, you could say is up, and the flat part is down. Those little thumbs have to be different. So let me see if I can set the camera up, because what I'm going to do next is going to take two hands. I got to have a hand to hold the cable and to cut, to use the tool. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. All right, now, first thing we have to do is we have to cut this cable right here on the end. Well, we're going to take some of it off first, because we washed this, and I don't know if water got in the end, but we're going to make sure that doesn't create a problem. So we're just going to cut it off, which is sticking in this hole right here, and give it a whack. Okay, so that's gone. Now you got a good straight edge right there, and you can actually look in there and see the 6 wires. Okay. Okay. So the next step is we need to get the insulation off, but the wires and their insulation to stay on. Well, the little tool has got to, and it's got to be a specific length. Well, that next cutting slot right here has a stop in there. So you put it in there, up to the stop, then you pull down like so, and you pull. Okay? So now we have, you'll see right up in there, the little piece of insulation came off. The outside cover insulation, and there's your 6 wires. And gee, I was right, it was white and blue. Okay, the orange and the red and the black are your 12 volts. That 12 volts is strictly, in the NCE cab bus system, is to light the light on the power cab, pro cab, excuse me, the pro cab, not the power cab, the pro cab, and or provide voltage to run say a mini panel. An AIOU one may need some voltage, whatever, accessory devices. So that's what the 12 volts does. The two in the middle, green, orange, well, whatever. I'm sorry. The orange and the gray is the cab bus. That's the intelligence. Then that never broken. The other two, the red and the black, is the 12 volts. Now you can check all this out with a meter if you want to, but that's just explaining with those 6 wires. In the cab bus, the blue and the white aren't used. Okay, so there it is. Like I said, there's only one place that the blue and the white are used, and that's on a power cab. All right. Again, should have gotten some things out. Okay, so we're going to go in this bag here with my little jacks, and we're going to dig out a couple, put them over here, we'll get to them, and we'll do thumbs up with the smooth side on this end. So the other end's got to be thumbs down. It doesn't take anything, just they'll line up and you slide it in and you make sure. Okay, let me do that again. It doesn't show good from that side. I don't know if it'll show good from this side. You can pull it out. All you have to do is put this in here and it lines up and goes in the holes. I've never had a problem with this. Just make sure that that's in all the way. Give it some pressure, and there 2 of them are in. Then you got to stick the crimper, the device, in the crimping machine. You're going to see that thumb's got to go down on this machine. Okay, let's stick it up here. All right, and we use the front hole here. And if you look up in here, see, I've slipped this in. I don't know, you can just see the blades on the crimper line up with the blades in the thing. And you push down real hard. I'm going to try this one too. I'm using the other crimping hole too. You can see it come down. And you want to make sure that the brass blades are pushed in. You get to the point with these when you look down the end, and I can get my big magnifying glasses on, you can see all the little metal things have been pushed into the wires. If you look at the side, the blades are shoved into the wire. And that's what you want to see. Now we're going to test this. Now, So this was the smooth side with the little thumb thing sticking up. So the other end, let's see here, gotta find the other end. Here's the other end. Okay, here's the other end. We're gonna clean that up first. And notice we put the line up, the seam in the plastic, that goes up. All right, so we're gonna go in here, same thing we did before. There's a stop. We want to get it into the stop on the front cutting blade. Okay, then you pull on the wire, and I gotta be careful there, don't hit the camera. This does take a little force. We went to the wrong stop, sorry. We've overdone this. All right, so let me cut these wires off. Okay, we went to the one in the front. We went up here instead of back here, and we skinned off too much insulation. So we're going to go back to the back side where that red bar sticks up, line it up, and then we have the right amount again. Okay, now remember we want to use the line. So we have the let's see if we can get this to focus. We have the line with the where we want the thumb, and we're going to put this on there with the thumb up with the line. It's all the way in, and we're going to crimp it. All right. All right. Now, on eyesight examination, they look great. Well, we're going to give it the acid test. We're going to hook it up to a controller and make sure it works. Be back in a minute. Got to go turn the system on. Okay, so here we are back at our on the railroad, and we're going to show you this. So, again, the two ends of the cable. One's on a flat, one thumb's on the flat side up, and one's on the line side up. So actually when you plug them in, they're reversed. Okay? So you simply, oops. I'm gonna turn this is a radio cab I got in my hand, so but we're playing with it as a plug-in. So we have the two cables in a controller. So we go plug this in here, that's one end, and we take this end, oops, get it right, we plug it in here, and it comes up. Now, you remember when, just a little extra tip here, I'll unplug it, I'll hold down select loco, plug it back in, and it comes up. This is cab 06 on my railroad. Yep, cab 06. If you're running a large railroad with NCE, you need to control throttles. We have people who come in here with their own throttles. All the throttles on this railroad that are mine are even numbered. All the people who come have an odd number. You can have a throttle conflict if you end up with two throttles with the same number. It will, you know, people, my engine will run, this one will, it's going backwards, I didn't do that. Okay, you got the drift, you know. Every person has to have a different throttle number, cab number, excuse me. So we just hit enter, and it's always normal. If you want to play with the yard part, go read up on it. It's in the manual on the internet. It's, you know, I don't use yard on my throttle controls. And you hit 2, and then at that point you've done everything you need to do. Just hit escape. Okay, so here's the okay, it was on the other one. I knew I'd already called it up. So there's the engine. You see, it works. And that's what you want to see. Really want to see that. Then you know that wire works. Okay? So at this point in the game, as far as I'm concerned, with this project, it's done. All right? So this is fixing up NCE cab bus cables, mini panel cables, and various other things. So I'm going to go try to get a couple pictures of some other applications. This is a mini panel up underneath the top level of my road. See that? For this mini panel to work, that cab bus that has to come in, it's got to be given a number, cab number. This is in the 40s. I don't know which one this is. It may be 40 or 41 because I got 2 of them. NCE has suggested numbering ways. Basically, once you get to the accessories, they suggest you get up into the higher numbers. But that's an in and out on the cab bus on this railroad, so that this talks to the command station. So that's another application of the command bus. And I got this thing actually pointing quite up the ceiling. Okay, this is an AIU-01. This is for block detection. And there's your cab bus again. NCE recommends you start numbering these at 50. Okay, if you use 50 for AIOU-01, 50, and you give it a cab number 5050, the terminal 1, the NS number, JMRI, just so you'll know, is 184. Excuse me, 780. Wait a minute, hold on. First number. On an AIOU-01 with a address of 51, terminal 1 is 800. On AIOU-01 50, the terminal 1 is 784. It goes in increments of 16. So, I could go look at my sheets. Believe me, I made master sheets up and wrote all this down for all those Cat 5 cable there. And right here, that's AIU-0154. So, I don't know what terminal 1 would be on that one without either getting with a pencil and paper. But they go up in increments of 16. If you give it cab address 51, terminal 1 will be 800 is its number. So when you start going to connect it to the panel in JMRI under the NS table, terminal 1 would be 800. Okay. That's just tidbits of information. Some of you are going to understand exactly what I just said. Most of you will not. So it's just, those are places that the cab bus goes that you have to do. The cable here stretched out. I'm trying to get kinks. This, as you saw, that cable in it was in a plastic bag, and It's been laying around for years and it kind of got messed up. So we're trying to give it the straighten out, pretty up, and so it can be used. Periodically, I get phone calls, you know, from people with systems that need a cable. So we're going to go back and repair this right now since we got all the tools out. Okay, so this is just a case of convenience. I know a club that uses DIN plugs for their connections for the UPTs. Most people today, and let's be honest about this is really getting old school here. Plug-in throttles, yeah, a lot of people still out there using them. But if you have your system set up where it's connected to Wi-Fi, you can use your cell phone, okay? Engine driver for Android and Wii Throttle Lite for Apple phones, okay? They can be used for throttles if you got it tied into your computer. You can use your radio throttles and you don't have to so much worry about cables like this. But I still have 4 or 5 plug-in throttles. Made them radio. Some of them were old radios. We tried putting the stuff in them, but they just work a lot better if they're plugged in. So we gotta cut that off because this will not stay plugged into the little plug. It just keeps pulling out. So we're gonna cut this off. Okay. Yeah. Try to cut it out. Don't take too much off. And get it as close as you can. All right. So it's gone now. I forgot to look before I cut it off, so I got to go to the other end. And the thumb is on the flat side here. The thumb is on the flat side of the cable. So we got to put the thumb sticking up on the other side with the line. Now, when you're doing the trim on the old piece of insulation is in there, and I got to get in there and fish that out. Don't stick your fingers in there. People do that. I just got a little screwdriver to pull it out because that's a razor blade in there. So we want to put this in on the right spot this time, not the wrong one. And same thing, pull it off. Now we want the thumb to go on the line side like so. Okay, we slid it up in there. The block's all the way up against the thing, so now all we have to do is stick it in the crimper. Went too far. Okay. Get it in the crimper, and that's, you got to line it up right. I'm not sure I got that. I'm going to try that again. Nah, I got it that time. I didn't. You could see that 2 of them were still sticking up. Now, same thing here. We're going to go out there and try this, and I won't bother you with that. If it doesn't work, you won't know, but I'll tell you it did. Seriously, we'll test it now, make sure it works. Okay, so we need to finish up this flat 6-wire cable in the NCE system and its use. I mentioned in the video, the one place that all 6 wires in the flat 6-wire cable get used is in the power cab. This is a power cab. The 2 outside wires, right, you end up carrying the voltage. This is the power. The 1 point something 85 amps at 12 volts or whatever goes into the panel, and they come out in the two outside wires. And everything for the power cab is inside here, the control mechanism. So you have the signal, command signal coming out of here, and you have the voltage for if you have another controller, which you could have up to 3 controllers, 3 or 4 controllers on this system. And so that voltage to run that screen right there would come out on the red and black wire. The green, I think, and orange, whatever it is your command cab bus. And the two outside wires, the white and the blue, which you can just see here on this one, is the voltage coming from there, and it goes through the PCP panel into here. So this is the only application in the entire NCE system that I'm aware of at the current time. This cable that runs from there to there, that all 6 wires get used. On a cab bus, you're not using the outside 2 wires. So on this one, when you pull the plug, the little light goes out, it's dead. Because you don't have any voltage going to the system, so it's not going to work. So we plug it in, the system's on, the power supply's on, so when I plug it in, it starts up. Cab address 2. On a power cab, you have to have it set to cab 2, and it has to be in the left-hand plug on the power cab. And this is a PCP panel. And now you see the little lights on. So I can go up here and, let's see, select. Oops, nope, don't want to do that. We can go right here and hit select loco, hit 5294, 5294, hit enter. This is not anything this was done by me because of the 2 tracks, and we use this as a setup deal. Programming decoders, I have turned on. Center is off. So if we do that, look at that. Little train runs. Okay? So this is an application of a power cab. People come over. A lot of them want to check things or look at CVs or something. There's a quick way they can take it out. They got a table here. They can take it out and put it on the table, take the engine out, put it up here, and check. I.e., did they clear the consist from the last place they were at? That's usually an issue sometimes. If they've consisted engines, forgot to clear them before they left it. Can't carry consist numbers in any system. I don't know which one it is. Doesn't make any difference. You can't carry them between systems, either Digitrax, NCE, or any other ones. They're unique to that command station. So, and the decoder will remember them, and you go take them somewhere else. They take the engine somewhere else, it won't work. You have to reset CV19 to 0 to clear out any consist address. In the NCE system, all you have to do is go to right there where it says consist, press the delete button, enter the locomotive number, and then hit enter. And that will clear out the consist. That basically sets CV19 to 0. So, anyway, this is the 6-wire cable on a power cab. So, go on from here. Okay, well, this is out on the layout, and this is on a very, very large cab bus. This cab bus on this railroad fits in the top 1 or 2%. It's over 200 feet long. Believe me, you get into this length cab bus, you're going to need what's called wall wart boosters. And depending on the age and what piece UPT panel you have, there's 2 different approaches to how to do it. So we're not going to get into that. I have a whole nother video on the cab bus on a railroad and how this one was put in. Since that video was made, I will tell you that the UPT panel sold by NCE now is different on how you break the circuit going back to the command station. You have to boost the 12 volts on a cab bus once it gets out past about 90 feet. And you'll know you don't have enough voltage because you'll plug the controller in. And right now this controller is sitting here dead. And if I plug this cord into this Pro Cab, and this is a radio, but we'll plug it in, you'll see the light lit up. If you do that and you're pretty sure that all your cables are working and your light does not light up, try to use the controller to run an engine without the light. If the engine runs, then your problem is very simple. You have low voltage on your cab bus, and you're going to have to put in a wall wart. You're going to have to boost the cab bus juice up. On the older UPT panels, it was simple. You buy a wall wart with a plug on it, you plug it into the back of the panel, and when you push the plug in, it broke the circuit so that voltage could not go back to the command station, but it went forward on the command bus so your lights would work. Okay? They have changed that. You now have to go in and actually break a circuit on the board itself. So if you buy new UPT panels and they've been made in the last 4 or 5 years, you need to read the instructions on an X-Acto blade will break that little strip on the panel so that the juice cannot go back to the command station, because if the juice flows back to the command station, you're going to blow out a diode in there. I could give you the number. I think it's a 425 or something. I mean, it's the one that affects the entire system from talking to itself. So you have to go get that fixed if that happens. So, and the reason you can't put a diode to stop backflow of electricity is because you're putting a signal on the track, and you can't have anything that affects the signal, which is your DCC signal. Okay? So there's all kind of little things and reasons why it happened. But this is a cable, and if you're plugging in controllers. Okay, and this is how it works. Now, you see the little white cable here, and I made this up. We had a big operating session here Saturday, and we had 11 people here operating, and 4 of them brought their own controllers. It's been a while since we've done this. You know, had an actual where we ran the whole railroad with yard operators and all that kind of stuff. But they walked in the door, and I check all controllers when they come in. My controllers, let's see, there's one down there. There's one here, there's one over there. They all have an even number. This is, let's see which one this is. The way you tell controllers is when you plug it in. You can hold down select loco if you're going to change it, but when you plug it in, it came up and it gave the controller number. I can tell you this is controller number 8, okay? Radio controllers, you have the numbers 2 through 18. Yeah, 2 through 18. Yeah. So anyway, I take even numbers, and all my controllers have even numbers. So when somebody comes in the door and they have their own controller and they want to operate on a railroad, you have to make sure no one's controller has the same cab number. So I use odd numbers, and they come in. Some of the guys all have numbers. We don't change them. But the other day, two of them came in, and two of the cabs actually had the same number. Two different cabs had the same numbers, or overlapping numbers. So you have to change the number, or you have all kind of problems, because you can't run two cabs the same numbers in any way. So it's just a thing you do before you start an operating session where you have a bunch of different cabs numbers. I have to say this now, this kind of gets into something new. Not that new, but it's something you have to know. If you're using Wi-Fi and you're using a cell phone with one of the two programs, either iPhone or Android, either one, it don't make any difference how many phones you got and what they are, because somehow or another the command station treats them as a unique number. And it's endless. It doesn't make any difference. Don't understand all that, but it works. I've had people come in here, they hook up to the system because I have it so you can hook up and use your iPhone. We have a little unique problem here with throwing switches, but that's another story. But they can use their iPhone to run the trains, and if you know how to get to the screen, because I run web server too, you can actually get to the screen where you can throw switches. But that gets a little complicated on a cell phone. Anyway, the key is, though, the cell phones will work. You don't need to worry about a cab address. I guess it works off the IP number on the phone. Not into how and what that does. But anyway, that's what we got here. I think this kind of puts the wrap on the cable. Why do I have this? Yeah, I didn't tell you why I have this. This little cord hangs here all the time. Every now and then somebody's radio batteries will go dead and their train's running. They can come over here and plug in, and that'll get the controller working enough to roll it back to zero before we have to start grabbing engines and that kind of thing. Also, when I have to change a cab address, you got to plug it in to change a cab address. So that's what this little short cord just hangs here. It's always here. It's always plugged in. It's hanging there for that purpose. So if we have to change a cab address or thing, if you have to reset a cab, and we had a little issue with one, and I'm still not too sure what was going on. It might have just been fact that it was laying in a drawer for 3 years. But you plug in, and you plug in the controller. Let's see if I can do it. I don't know if I can with one hand. I don't think I can. I don't have the tripod set up. But you hold down select loco. And I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this. I'm going to hold down select loco, and I'll plug this in, and it will come up and ask me for a cab. You see now, I held down select loco, held it down, then I plugged in the cable, and you see it's now flashing 08, cab 08. So I would simply enter 8 and then enter. And then it asks yard normal, and I hit 2 normal. Not getting into explaining a yard, okay? Don't worry about it. You ain't gonna ever want to use it. All right, so then I hit escape, and it goes to the controller. If I would have selected cab 0 and hit enter, it would have gone through and reset everything in the controller, and then it would have come up cab 2. Then you could reset it again to cab 8, and then you would have been back on 8, and if there was anything that needed to be adjusted, when you hit the 0, it goes through and resets it. So that's a reset on a NCE controller, is select, when you selecting cab, signing a cab, assign cab 0, and that's the reset. Okay? It might take care of, fix something that's gone crazy. Not going to guarantee anything, but it's something, a trick you can learn. But other than that, I think this wraps up the video. So I'm going to go put this in the computer, edit it, and put it out there for anybody who wants to know about this is basically about using 6-wire cables and those little RJ12 clips and plugs. So there it is. And thanks for watching again. And just for the count, haven't done it in a while. 10,788 subscribers and 3.5 million views. We kind of slowed down here lately. This past year, there's a real good reason, because we haven't been out to anybody's layouts for layout tours, unfortunately. And the second thing is, unfortunately, for an awful lot of people I know, we've suffered some losses in the past year. 5 of them in particular I can think of. So, unfortunately it happens as we go on in this hobby, when you're surrounded by a group of people who are of an age group, which we tend to stay with as humans. Unfortunately, our age group is getting up there, and we're, some of our members are going on to run trains with a better group of people, and we suffer. So to all our departed friends, we remember them. Some pictures showed up on Facebook the other day of 1 or 2 of them. So let me just say, we don't forget any of them, and let's hope that 21 start getting a little bit better here. We need to get on a cruise ship, people. Tell your congressman and senator we need to get on a cruise ship. Let's get cruising started again. Get travel started again. Okay? Moving forward here. Time to move forward.